Welcome to CSN, the Network Podcast. This is your host, Kayvon Cutler, with my amazing co-host, Malik Hampton. How are you doing this afternoon, my brother?
I'm good, bro. How you?
Man, blessed by the best, blessed, black, and highly favored, as Drizzy would say. You know, speaking of Drizzy, please don't be alarmed as we tell y'all all the time. Drizzy has a very, very busy work schedule. She also runs a league in the Charlotte area, so she's doing her thing right now. So she's a little preoccupied. That's why she's not with us today. So nothing is up, just fam. You know, she on grind mode, but we gonna hold it down. Hey, bro, it's exciting week. You know what I mean? I know you got the deluxe edition like I did. College football just dropped. College football 26, you know, the second installment of the reinvented college football, man. So let's hop right into it. What's your initial thoughts, reactions to the new game, man? What you thinking?
Just blessed, man, that, I was able to be around to get the college football game back again, man. Um, I like the game. I ain't been able to get super deep into it like I did last year just because I've been working.
Yeah.
Just a little tired. But yeah, I plan on doing that here very soon, these next upcoming days, just gaming hard, especially as I'm going on vacation. But I mean, I like it, man. It's different than last year. Don't let nobody tell you it's the same. You know,
It's definitely
but
different.
yeah, um, I'm blessed and happy that we got this game back, man. We ran 20 seasons in the online dynasty last year on the
That's hard.
25. Yeah, so you know, I'll be on it, bro.
Man, I'm not gonna lie to y'all. So I haven't really been able to delve in too deep into the dynasty mode. But you know, Leak, you know, the first thing I did was that Road to Glory. And this year they got you playing at high school, bruh. So it's super dope. But the thing about the game for our listeners out there, man, when you play, you gotta lock in. Like, bro, the first game I tried to quit because I wasn't really hooping like how I wanted to. You feel me? Bro, I lost that game. Charge that to the game. You can't start over. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't because I was losing. I just didn't like my stat line. And I wasn't really hitting my objectives. I didn't know at the time that if you didn't didn't reach the objective that you could do it again. So that makes sense why if you quit, like nah, bro, ain't no redo because it's right in the game. Like if you don't meet the objective, you can restart objective. So if you got to throw a pass for 50 yards and score a touchdown on that drive, like you have to do that on that drive or you will not pass the objective. And I like the challenge of it because if you don't complete everything that you know they want to see as far as your game tape or as far as what the coaches want to see from you, your rating to drop. So I picked being a 4-star just so I could, kind of grind up and elevate up to a 5-star. But I went all the way down to a 3-star, Leak. I ain't gonna lie to you, bro. I had to lock in. My first O was New Mexico State. But I ended up, bouncing back, becoming a 4-star. I want to say my top three was WU, Louisville, and Illinois. And people probably, I know you probably thinking too, like, why was those the top? I wanted to go somewhere I'd start my freshman year. So of course I had O's from Texas, O State. I didn't have an offer from Alabama. USC was like the first big school to offer me. So I was real intrigued by that. But ultimately, man, I wanted to play my freshman year. So I went to, Malik made a great point years ago. I was thinking about you the other night, man. We was walking one day, you might not remember, and we was talking, and you was like, bro, why not go to school in the state that you from and represent the mountains? Like this where we from. You know what I'm saying? So I kind of, took that concept, kept that concept, excuse me, in mind when I committed there. Like, nah, this our home state. Like, I never went to W before, like in any college game, never played there as far as like being on my own. So I'm like, I might as well give it a shot. You feel me? You know where I'm transferring after freshman year. But I would say the graphics are better for sure. It looks crazy, man. I love the introduction. I love the gameplay. Like I said, man, they did a great job with just revamping this year. It's definitely a different game. I love it, man. It's super dope. Staying in college, um, I wanted to pose this question to you because they say in 2028, league, that basketball is supposed to return. So I wanted to pose this question with college basketball releasing in a few years. do we feel this game will be as popular as it was back in the early 2000s? And second question, second part to that, do you think it'll be as popular as the college football game?
No and no,
Yeah,
both answers to the question. Well, one, supposedly the college basketball, and I'm sure this will change depending on sales, but supposedly the college basketball ain't going to be a yearly release like the college football. Um, but I'm sure if they make enough money, of course they'll do it. But it'll never be bigger than football, just because football is not bigger than basketball. I mean, basketball is not bigger than football in America. Period. You
that's a
know.
fact.
So yeah, it'll never eclipse that college football. From the nostalgia to us having to wait a decade to get it back, bro. Like to anticipate, like it'll never be able to top college football. College football is like the highest selling game ever. You know, 25 that is. So um, yeah, it can't either way. And just when the college basketball game was coming out back in the day, there was a lot of star power, in college. There's not a lot of star power in college these days. Now, I do appreciate that, people are sticking around longer and, causing more parity across the nation. You never know where you're going to see some of the top guys playing ball at, these days, which I do like. But yeah, man, it's just not enough star power in college. It's not enough star power with some of the high school players coming out either. Like it's they might think that, it's star power, but we really remember the Derrick Roses, the OJs, people like that watching a recruitment, man, Eric Gordon. Um, it was just a real culture thing, man, and I just don't think they'll be able to capture that just based off the star power, man. Like everybody knew D Rose was the next best NBA point guard in high school. You know what I'm saying? He had to go to college. He was invested in that. Nowadays the kids ain't even got to go to college for real. They
Nope.
got these little leagues they can jump into. The overseas route is still a thing as well. LaMelo didn't go to college, so it's just not enough star power funneling through the college programs basketball wise for it to ever be as popular as it once was or as popular as college football games. So nah to both.
And I agree. We discussed this on the pod, earlier in the year where we were just highlighting how, to your point, there's not a lot of name recognition like star power in college basketball right now. When we were growing up and we were young, we were real privy and in tune with the recruiting classes who were coming out. These dudes, like in Jackson, for example, I was super hype on him coming out. Boom, he did his thing at UNC. Then he transferred to St. John. Ain't nothing wrong with it. I'm not hating. You feel me? But that's somebody I feel like had he stayed at UNC, that's an example of somebody whose brand would have grown. You know what I mean? Because that's a notable college program. That's somebody that would have returned. That's a notable player. McDonald's All American. Everybody been knew, about Ian. You feel me? So a lot of that is happening in college basketball in reference to the turnover rate. A lot of people are transferring, so you may, have a liking for someone and try to follow them, and then they go to a school that you're not really interested in being a fan of or even supporting. So your interest level might drop. So I could see where it would be an issue possibly for them to really make those slam dunk sales on a yearly basis because, like I just alluded to, man, your favorite player might not even go to college, and if he does go to college, shoot, he might transfer in 1 year. So you know, I just think it's a unique time for college basketball, but it's definitely don't get us wrong, it's definitely still great athletes. Clearly, the NBA continues to, store and have and develop great young athletes. It's just no name recognition like how it used to be when we were young, man. It's no following of highly recruited players that we're all paying attention to, like, oh, where they going? You know what I mean? So it's just different times, man. But I'm still excited for college basketball. We used to have a lot of Malik and I go back that far where when college basketball was relevant, we had a lot of good battles on that game, man. So it is fun, you know what I mean? And it's unique from the standpoint of like I feel like the best 2K game was 2K16 And that's because if you remember, you could play in high school and college. You feel me? So like I think adding that aspect where you can play in college, more full time, I think that'll have the kids, interested and intrigued by that. So I'm excited for it. I know it's not going to happen until a couple years, but I still think it'll be a
I don't
good.
think they even going to release it, bro.
Say it again.
I said I don't even think it's going to end up being released for real, for real.
Word.
Yeah, I think I think they want to, but I don't think it's going to end up being released.
It's tough because it's like I mean we
You
UNC
put on the game, bro. Like
yeah. We UNC fans, but like outside of UNC, like who would you play with? When we was growing up, bro, it was mad people that you could play with that was nice. You know what I'm saying? Like John Wall, bro, just naming a few, bro. We used to have some battles, bro. Some about UConn when Kimba was there. Oh my gosh. But we used to have some battles. It's just not the same, man. But I digress. Moving on to the NFL, sticking with football. Who is your top five most impactful players in the NFL that's not a quarterback, Malik? I'll go first, real quick. Number five, I got Patrick Surtain. Number four, I got Christian McCaffrey. Number three, I got Saquon Barkley. Number two, I have TJ Watt. And number one, this may surprise people, but number one, I have Jamar Chase. The reason why I don't have Justin Jefferson in that, if I had a list of 10, Jay Jettas would definitely be in it. But the quarterback spot in Minnesota is still a question mark right now. The young bull, he still has to prove himself. You feel me? What if the Bengals want to do what they aspire to do? Jamar Chase has to, have a big year again and be a key piece like he's been since he's gotten in the league. So those are my top five most impactful players that aren't quarterbacks. Again, that's PS2, C Mac, Saquon Barkley, TJ Watt, and Jamar Chase.
actually, I got no order for real, but I had Saquon, T.J. Watt, Jamar Chase, Trent Williams, and my fifth was I don't know, man. It was I went back and forth about it. Uh, Sertan is a good one, and I have McCaffrey, but I've already got Trent, which is why I was already confused about it. But yeah, I'll go. Yeah, I'll go Sertan instead of McCaffrey. And the reason why I put Trent Williams is because I just feel like, y'all's whole offensive scheme looks just completely different when y'all ain't got Trent. Um, Me personally, I've seen y'all interchange running backs and have success. Of course, ain't nobody gonna be McCaffrey, but I've seen it before. When y'all ain't got Trent in the lineup, you know, it's a little hit or miss, you know what I'm saying? Because you're used to that being so secure. Like I was listening to Purdy on the Bussin' with the Boys, and he
I
was
gotta
saying that
finish
same
that.
thing.
Yeah.
Like when Trent's there, like, you notice it's not something you gotta worry about like at all. You know. So I give it to Trent Williams, just based off of that. But we damn near had almost the same list.
Hey, great minds think alike, brother. Sticking in the NFL, what is more likely? Micah Parsons and TJ Watt getting paid, or both of them playing for another team?
Both of them getting paid for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't see the Steelers moving off TJ Watt and Micah, you know.
If the Steelers was smart, it just depends on what they want for real, or like what the market entails for TJ Watt. But if you can still get some high value picks out of TJ, maybe a player back or two, bruh, I look at trading him because it don't really matter. You know what I'm saying? I mean, yeah, he help you win games, but you ain't never gonna get over the hump. You know what I'm saying? With just TJ, with a TJ Watt led attack, like there's gonna have to be more. And I just don't think that the defense and the offense are meeting each other. at a common ground right now. I think legit. I mean, the numbers say it. As long as TJ Watt out there, the defense is going to do enough to help them probably win a game.
Yep.
Can't speak for the offense, so yeah. Mhm.
Now, I see where you're coming from. Next, what is more likely to happen? The Broncos will win the AFC West or the Panthers will win the NFC South?
Uh,
I think Carolina's going to be sneaky good this year. Not like,
Bro, I was probably gonna say Carolina. Bro, I'm high on Denver, but I still gotta wait and see, bro. Because I was looking down the roster, and they still got some holes.
yeah,
You know,
that
that they
defense is going to
address.
be solid, though.
Defense is gonna be good, but I'm scared of the offense. You know what I'm saying?
Heard you.
Scared of the offense, and no matter how good Bo Nix played last year, it's just the style in which he played. You know what I'm saying? Them not having no them not having like that many weapons on the offensive side of the ball makes me a little weary about what this sophomore campaign gonna look like for them offensively because it was a lot of dinking and dunking. You know what I'm saying? Using Bo's legs. I don't know. I just got to see it for real, for real. So
Yeah.
I say the Panthers really. Because the Falcons a goofy team, man. They got some talent, but same way with them, they got some holes they missing. But if they can click offensively, you can see it. Um, I'm high on Baker. You know what I'm saying? They're probably my shoe in already. To win the division again. But yeah, I'd say the Carolina Panthers because I like what I seen out of Bryce last year. You
Me
know,
too. Thank you for acknowledging that. Let me make this clear for the record. You know, up until Bryce came to her, I would say Tua and Jalen, Blake Sims, some of Brody Coyle. Um, those were some of my favorite quarterbacks that came through Bama until Bryce came. I love Bryce. I'm gonna continue. I'm a diehard 49er fan, but I'm gonna continue to support Bryce. God willing, I can make it to a game in Charlotte one day. Kick it with Kale. Shout out to Brody. But despite the love I have for Bryce and his progression, I still think they got a couple holes on the roster in reference to the Panthers, but they do got some talent that's going to be good. I feel like here in a couple years they're doing a good job, and I like their coach. So I'm gonna say the Broncos because, like I said, yes, I do agree with you that they have holes on offense, but I think they're going to be so stout defensively. That's going to be a top five defense easy. You know what I'm saying? So as long as they can play complementary football in reference to the offensive side, I know it's going to be tough to be consistent, but if they can figure out some way to be a little consistent, not just boom, have 2 good weeks and then 4 bad weeks on the offensive end. Like if they can kind of piece it together where it's semi-consistent throughout the year, I think they got a great shot at winning the division. So that's what I think is more likely between the two. I wouldn't be surprised if the Panthers did win the division, though. Next, we have what is more likely to happen: Giannis and LeBron playing somewhere else or staying with their current teams next season?
playing somewhere else.
Mm,
I mean, the Bucks probably gonna have to get rid of Giannis anyway. So, and LeBron, they said he ain't even called Aiden yet. So I think I found that funny as well. But yeah, yeah, I think I could see both of them. I don't think it's gonna happen, but I think it's a good chance it could happen, especially for Giannis.
yeah, for sure.
Giannis got a decision to make anyway. Like, is he gonna request a trade now or later? Simple as that, really.
Yeah. If he waits, he could see where free agents get picked up and then he could kind of base, him forcing the trade to, whoever picked up the best pieces. You know what I'm saying? Um, I definitely think it's more likely that LeBron would stay. So I'm more so on like it's more likely LeBron would stay, Giannis would leave. But if I had to do like a package answer, I would say it's more likely that they both stay. Just because, like I said, off the strength of LeBron staying, we not moving off LeBron. Like I can't even think of a proper package that would even have my interest. You dig? So it's
Farewell tour.
yeah, man.
The
Uh,
farewell tour alone gonna be so lucrative. I know they don't want to let that go.
yeah, we just gotta keep making moves. Hopefully, we make a splash in free agency. Even though we ain't got much room left. Shoot. But last but not least, for the
They need to
NFL,
get Chris Paul if he willing to come off the pine,
nah,
run the
he said he
second
trying to
unit.
start. Yeah, he said
Oh, he
he.
trying to start.
Yeah, I read that last week.
It's curtains in.
Yeah.
Second unit to be fired for CP though.
But I get it though. You know what I mean? When I was younger, because AI would have extended his career if AI accepted coming off the bench. So I just think it's tough when you're that high caliber player and you just started and played majority of the season in reference to Chris Paul playing with the Spurs. I can see where that particular example in reference to CP where it's tough to come off the bench. Allen Iverson, you could tell he was in decline. I really wish he would have stayed in the league. You know what I mean? I felt like we were kind of shortchanged of seeing him in his later years, which I get, you know what I mean? He was a scoring champion, MVP, pound for pound, one of the best to ever do it. You dig? So I could see where the ego would kind of get in the way of him being willing to come off the bench. But CP3 is, like I said, he top five greatest point guards to ever play. He started all last year, played majority of the year, so I get it. He like, I'm still good, I'm still healthy. I showed my worth. I should be starting. But it's about what you want. What's important to you, starting or competing for a championship? You know what I mean? That's a beautiful piece coming off the bench, like you just said. So just depends on what bro want to do.
Facts.
Um, Moving on to NBA basketball. Quick question. You know what I mean? Forgotten NBA seasons, man. Who were some of your favorite teams or team that you liked, outside of because I know you like LeBron growing up. We brothers, you dig, but like before LeBron came into the league, if you had a team that you were in support of that didn't win it, you know what I mean? What were some of your teams that uh
No, I never had a team before LeBron. I only liked Allen Iverson, and Kobe. I've only been player fans when it comes to NBA. I've never had a team, never been that connected to a team. That's just the way I've chosen to watch basketball. Outside of my Tar Heels, NBA, I just couldn't rock with nothing because it seemed like only a few teams really were trying to compete. Year in and year out. So it's a little tougher. Um, um,
that
but
could be one, not to cut you off, just to help you out. That could be one, the 01 76ers,
no,
and
no, 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 not them either. I wasn't that attached. Of course, I wanted Iverson to win, but I wasn't attached to them like that. Like I said, it was just Iverson. If there's one team that I could think of that I truly was invested in and enjoy watching and was hoping that they could get over the hump, it's probably the Hornets team of 2000, the Hornets from 2008 to 2011. Those CP 3 years, CP, Tyson Chandler, David West, Pargo off the pine. I used to love watching CP. Um, I was a huge fan of CP, as well. He wasn't my favorite player, he's my brother's favorite player, but I always respected the hell out of CP because he's so small, but the way he controlled the game and the way he could, you know, will his team to wins, just playing the point guard position truly how it's meant to be played, um, and just at his size, the way he competed, man, it was those teams I wanted to get over the hump. I know they lost in the second round, seven, I think, in 2008 to the Spurs, and then they lost to the Lakers in 2011 first round. I want to say 2010, 2011 first round, and yeah, I wanted them to beat Kobe. I wanted them to. I thought that they had a team that could compete and really, clip the Lakers. And it was a competitive 6 game series. but they couldn't clip Kobe and them. So, but that's probably the only one team that I probably was invested in and wanted to see do well. Just I like the team makeup. So it's probably just them.
So I'm gonna throw some teams at you, right? I would have loved for my 2008 Lakers to have got one. I know Bynum was hurt, if y'all remember back. That was the year Powell was still, trying to be a finesse guy. He wasn't as tough as he was when we went back to back. So that's always been a team that I wish could have got one because that would have been a second three-peat for Kobe. That would have been cool. Next, I have the 2011 Miami Heat. Um, them
There's
losing,
one.
them losing to the Mavs. I lost money at senior week. But I thought for sure, like surefire. And the Mavs had a great run. I'm not taking nothing from Dirk. Um, or Jason Terry or none of them, but I thought for sure that the Heat would have killed them. I thought it would have been a 5-game series, six max. Um,
It
so
looked like it was headed that way, man, early, and then
uh,
yeah, I don't know what happened, man. Yeah, that could be one too. I'm glad you brought them up. That's probably the only other team, and I guess that was a Bron team too. So yeah, that's probably the only other team for sure.
um, the 2012 Oklahoma City Thunder. Now I know it would have been tough to beat Braun and them, but you telling me that you got a young James Harden coming off with Russ starting, killing, KD starting, killing, Serge starting, killing. They should have They should have figured something out. The way KD made it seem on the podcast with Braun and Steve Nash, he made it seem like there was a small opportunity where they could have signed both. And if that's the case, that was a big mistake by the front office of OKC. You know what I mean? But I did also watch a interview one time, and they had mentioned how people was getting in Harden's ear about him being the type of player that needs his own team. So I'm sure there's some validity in both aforementioned things.
They
But
said
I
it was a 10 million discrepancy or something like that.
got you,
He wanted 10 more million or something like that. They said that's what the difference was,
man.
which is crazy to think you couldn't give James 10. You can pay the luxury tax on that. Fuck it.
That's a fact. And then my last one, I would say the 2019 Golden State Warriors. Um, like I felt like they would have beat Toronto had Clay not got hurt in Game 6. They would have definitely beat them had KD been healthy. But if you go back and watch, bro, Clay had like 31 and he got hurt in the third. He got hurt in the third. He was going for a 40 piece. Game 6 Clay. He was hooping. I just came across the highlights the other day on Twitter. And I sat and watched. I'm like, dang, he was hooping, bro. His game is so awkward in the sense of like how he creates his own shot. However, he's still very creative, lethal shooter. Shout out to Clay, man. I always loved this game. So those are some of the teams that I feel like, are forgotten in the NBA that were great, teams in the regular season had great playoff runs. They just didn't get over the hump in the finals. You dig? Now, transitioning into my favorite segment, one of them for sure, our CSN overreaction segment. Okay, remember these are true false, but it's okay if you want to provide a short answer to elaborate on why you stated true or false. Starting out, Leak, I have Mike Tomlin and Aaron Rodgers are the coach slash QB duo that have the most pressure to have success this year.
Mm, false.
I'm gonna say true. I don't think Tomlin is on the hot seat, but him not having a playoff win leak in years alarms me. Just from a public perception standpoint. You know what I mean? And we all know, I mean, Aaron Rodgers is good regardless, legacy wise, but I do think there's some pressure there for them to succeed, given the tenure Tomlin has been there and the lack of playoff wins in recent history. And then Aaron Rodgers, he still has stuff to prove, not literally, but a lot of people think he washed, you know what I mean? So it's a lot of pressure on him to perform. If they don't have a good year, that's a direct reflection of Aaron Rodgers falling off a cliff. You know what I mean? So I think he has some pressure to be productive, and I think Mike Tomlin has some pressure to, you know, win a playoff game, to have some success, more success. What he's done throughout the tenure of his career is amazing, but y'all know it's what have you done for me lately type league. And yeah, the regular season wins are cool. You staying above 500, but how does that translate to wins in the playoffs? So, and I get that. Um, Next we have, speaking of Tomlin, Coach Mike Tomlin will be let go by the Steelers if he does not win a playoff game this year.
Absolutely true. It's over
Ooh.
on a playoff game for sure.
I'm gonna
It
say
needs to be though.
you did say that, Lee. You did say that some months back. You said it was man. And I know we're not being negative in that sense. You know what I'm saying? We just keeping it funky on here, just keeping it all the way a buck like we do.
Yeah,
But
he can still go coach somebody. Just
yeah,
time for the Steelers is over.
yeah. It's been a few people that said it kind of feels like it's inching towards that time where, you know, it's time to get a new face in there, which also adds to the last talking point in regards to there being pressure. But I'm gonna say false. I think he has one more year where, bro, we either gonna draft your franchise QB or we gonna sign somebody fire, and then you got an opportunity to do something. So I'm gonna say false to that one. TJ Watt is a Hall of Famer already. I'll say true.
True.
Deshaun Watson will play a game this upcoming season.
He re-injured his joint. I don't know. I
Are
would
in
have said
training?
true. Yeah, but he re-injured his Achilles. Yeah, I think he re-injured it in training, while training to get back. I think he re-injured it. So I'm gonna say no. But if it wasn't for that, I would have said yeah, just based off their QB situation. Ain't none of them that good, you know. You can only hope Shador is good, you know, or can be good. But like as of right now, ain't none of them proven. Ain't none of them really, you know.
I
Joe
told you my
Flacco did what he did, but it's a smoke screen, bro. I told
yeah.
y'all.
I
You
told you my theory on rookie QBs, man. Brock Purdy is an anomaly. Like that rarely happens. Jaden Daniels, that rarely happens. You know what I'm saying? Um, so it's definitely tough at that spot for sure. But I'm gonna still say true in reference to Deshaun Watson. I think the QB room isn't solid enough. So if he ends up being healthy, and it's a long season too, bro. So if he ends up being healthy and can get out there, I think he'll do it. So speaking of the Browns, Myles Garrett is the best defensive end in the league.
know.
True. I'm gonna say false. I'm gonna give the nod to TJ. I won't front. I feel like TJ
He's
just
in the end, bro. He's an outside line,
outside linebacker. I know, but
plays edge like Micah. They not defensive ends. DeMarcus Lawrence is a defensive end.
yeah,
Miles Garrett is a defensive end.
Max
Daniil
Crosby,
Hunter,
then
defensive end. Max Crosby, defensive end.
Nick Bosa.
Nick Bosa, defensive end. Yeah.
I
TJ Watt is
still
not a
kind of,
defensive end.
I know,
Nope.
I still
It's not. It's not. It's not. Nope.
don't
He's an.
place him in the same. I
Outside.
just bang with TJ, bro. I just feel like he the best edge rusher in the league, bro. But
That is true.
if we being technical, legit DN, then I will give it to Miles Garrett because he is a freak of nature. So I will give it to him. It ain't like he was it's like 1A, 1B with them two. Like he ain't even like a two. You feel me? I got high respect
I
for
mean,
Garrett.
keeping it a beam with you, I like Max Crosby better than Miles Garrett. But
Oh,
I
got you.
understand I understand that Miles Garrett is just he's in a unique situation. The Browns suck, bro. You know, even the Raiders have been look decent, you know what I'm saying, or kind of been decent, you know, in a couple years, with Max there. Uh, especially under the Gruden. I like Gruden a lot there, to be honest with you. But yeah, I personally like Max Crosby as the best defensive end, but I will acknowledge that it's probably Miles Garrett, like completely unblockable, you know.
Yeah. Shout out to
So yeah,
Max Crosby though, man. He's been rising in the rankings over the years. I'm glad, people starting to
I wanted to trade for Max Crosby until we
nah.
got Burks.
I was just about to say, ain't no need. Verse gonna be a star. Yeah, he gonna be a star late. Ain't no
Oh
need.
yeah, yeah, for sure. I'm lucky we lucked in the verse, but Tony will tell you I've been trying to get Max Crosby over there for a couple years now.
I seen a couple.
Telling him, you know, yeah,
Sam Darnold will have a career year with the Seahawks.
that's false.
False, I agree. Uh, they
He
don't
ain't
have.
got no Jettis.
About to say he ain't got the weapons. Um, College football 26 will go down as the best college football game that EA Sports has created.
Yep, because it's up from it's a step up from 25. I mean,
I'm gonna say true, but the one I like the most, I can't remember what year it was, but it was the one where Deshaun Jackson was on the front. That's for some reason I like that one the most out of all of them for whatever reason, bro. Um,
it's like 2008,
yeah,
2009.
I want to say yeah. I was gonna say '09, but I don't want to misspeak. Um, excuse me. Next, LeBron James will end his career with another team.
I know I just said he would, but I'm gonna say false. I don't think he's gonna uproot the family for real. He gonna do the farewell tour in LA. Bronny's still on the team. And, yeah, boss. He'll be a Laker. He'll retire a Laker.
I agree. I'm gonna say true. Um, excuse me. I'm gonna say false. I think LeBron loves LA. You know what I mean? And it's tough. You know, I know he wants to compete for a championship, but I think we're inching towards that, and I think we will. You know what I mean? So as long as he stays the course, we only are better with him. You know what I mean? So I felt like us keeping him, and like I just alluded to, hopefully we can make something shake with free agency, and we'll go from there and see what happens. But the Rockets should be the favorite to win the Western Conference this year in the NBA.
Uh, yeah, I guess so. Yeah, hell yeah. Put that pressure on KD. Hell yeah, they the favorites, man.
I'm gonna say false because OKC. You know what I mean?
Yeah, of course, but yeah, I just want
No,
to push
I'm
my
with you. No, I'm
narrative.
with you. Nah,
Yeah,
you want to do all this switching? Nah,
yeah, you want to do
go
all
get
this
one.
changing up? Yeah, go get
Yeah,
one, bro. Go leave
word.
somebody one. Keep talking about good hoops and all that. You ain't playing good hoops because you ain't winning.
uh, the Yankees and Mets will miss the playoffs this year. I'm gonna say false, but
That's absolutely false. We ain't missing shit.
it's tough. And then last but not least, um, Michael Porter Jr. will be an Eastern Conference All Star now that he plays for the Brooklyn Nets.
Dude, if he got any part of his game, he ready to unlock. You know, just as a catch and shoot guy, no. But he did say that he felt like he plateaued and was looking for the opportunity, to expand his game. So we'll see. I'm gonna still say no, but we'll see. He definitely got an opportunity, though, to go get him 20 a night if he want to.
Now that's a fact, man. That's all I got for us in reference to the content for this week. Lead us, man, to the game winning drive. It's the 2 minute warning. What you got for us?
Bruh, something that just happened today. We got to talk about RG3. Bruh, RG3 is a fucking weirdo, bruh. And like, I'm gonna keep it a bean, bro. Like, you know me, I don't like talking about Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark and none of that bullshit, because they didn't turn it into a race. It's a whole race debate behind both of them, you know. And I like to keep it strictly basketball. You might not like my opinion, what I like, what I see, you know what I'm saying? But it ain't got nothing to do with no racial shit. It ain't got nothing to do with trying to be behind the white girl or trying to be behind the black girl. I'm specifically talking hoops. What I like, I'm very picky when it comes to hoop, bruh. I tell you somebody playing bad hoops when everybody else think he playing good. You know what I'm saying? Like I see it just a little bit differently. But I wanted to address RG3 because the shit he did today was weird, bro. He found a random tweet that he wasn't added in, and decided to post a paragraph about it, and the tweet was, they swapped Angel Reese off of the 2K cover and put a monkey there. Some racist, totally racist bullshit. But RG3 took the time to make it seem like he was standing up for some racism while the same time talking shit about Angel Reese and laying shit at her feet, you know what I'm saying? While bruh, he basically said that Angel Reese did something that entice fans to threaten his family and his daughters and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? So he was trying to be off of it, but he was stepping in right now to talk about the racism and how it shouldn't exist in sports. And I just want to let that RG3 know he corny, bro. Like everybody seen what you was doing, bro. Like you just wanted shock value by that because one ain't nobody at you in that. You went and found that, then you made this whole soliloquy and lied talking about you talked to her peoples, her mom, Angel. Everybody came out and said, bro, you ain't talked to nobody. Like you just did this, you know what I'm saying, so you could get that off. You know, and I just think RG3, he a coon, bro. Straight the fuck up. Like he wanna be the next Whitlock, you know what I'm saying? He's
Yeah,
clearly ain't doing a good job at it, you know what I'm saying? Because he ain't been picked up nowhere yet. So he just doing this off the strength. He just being a race baiter and a coon off the strength, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like it just don't make no sense to me, bro. You know what I'm saying? And I want to first of all apologize to Angel, you know what I'm saying, for having to endure something like that from a black man, you know what I'm saying? Like somebody with a voice that's immediate, you know what I'm saying? Like even if you don't like her, even if you don't like her game, even if you want to push the agenda, bro, like you can't do that, you know what I'm saying, when it comes to we're specifically talking about a woman here and a black woman at that, you know what I'm saying? Which you should be extra cautious, with what you with how you handle them, you know what I'm saying, with all they got to endure, period. You know what I'm saying? Like that should be off top. So for you to keep pushing this narrative and keep trying to hide behind you trying to be a good dude and you don't want it to be racial, you know what I'm saying? Like I think that shit is very, very corny. I think RG3 weak for that, you know. And it brings it brings more clarity to why some people are going as hard as they are when it comes to the Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark thing and then turn it into a racial thing. Because of shit like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, you got stuff like that on top of the people who we've already known, you know what I'm saying, that has said racial stuff, you know what I'm saying, and sent threats to Angel, based off of this little stupid ass rivalry. It's bruh, it's pointless, bruh. It ain't progressive at all. You know what I'm saying? And I just don't like it. I think that was some of the lamest shit we gonna see, here recently and in the near future. Like RG3 is a clown for that. And I ain't even trying to give him no shine. I just want to hopefully he hears this and can hear me clearly. You are a lame, bruh. What Rob Parker said about you back in the day on TV was absolutely right, bro. You got to stop speaking for black people. You got to stop acting like you speak from a cultured perspective because it's clear as day you don't, bruh. You know what I'm saying? It's clear as day how you decide to live your life, how you decide to put content out, how you decide to be provocative, you know what I'm saying, with your white wife, you know what I'm saying, and your mixed children, hiding behind all that bullshit. Fuck RG3. That's all I want to say, you know what I'm saying? And shout out to Angel Reese. Keep doing your thing, you know what I'm saying? Like, even if I ain't the biggest fan of your game, keep doing your thing because, the only way to, kill haters is with success, you know what I'm saying?
you in
And
the shine.
she keeps shining, you know what I'm saying? So that right there, I respect at the utmost level, you know what I'm saying? And yeah, I'm gonna be even a little bit more behind her now. You know what I'm saying? Now that I seen that shit, man, because that was insane, and everybody killing him on social media too, bro. Everybody seen the play, like like you ain't just out the kindness of your heart trying to speak up nowhere, bro. Like that was some bullshit. Even Whitlock wouldn't stoop that low, you know.
Nah, that's a fact, man. You know, and I want to piggyback on what you're saying. Definitely think you a mark for sure. But we're not going to continue to highlight this clown. You know what I mean? Angel Reese has been balling, averaging a double double. You dig? She been killing. She been killing. So please continue
Real
to
proud. Yeah.
yeah, please continue to continue to elevate Queen. We definitely support you up here. We support Caitlyn as well. It's definitely no hate. You know what I'm saying? I
It's
just
no, it's straight basketball, bruh.
play hoops. You dig?
These fans have, and this is how you know they not real. This is how you know people ain't really been between them lines, don't really got no background. You know what I'm saying? They just want to be provocative when it comes to social media because social media has given everybody a voice that they think matters. You know, it's strictly hoops for me, man. You know,
Man, I'm excited, bro. I can't lie to you, bro. I'm looking forward to this weekend to be off work so I can be on the game a little bit, bro. Because I'm like you, I've been getting off work 10. Other night I caught a flat getting off. I didn't get off till 10, so I didn't get the spare on till after 11. You dig? So that cut the playing time down. You dig what I'm saying? So we're gonna get it in starting tonight. But
absolutely. Same here.
definitely great episode, man. Please, y'all, please continue to like, subscribe, share, and view the content. We're gonna keep killing it, keep coming at y'all with consistent content, weekly content. We appreciate all the love, man. Please continue to subscribe. And we out, man. Peace and blessings.
Peace.